Welcome to another episode of Jump Into Fire Safety with Katie. Today, we're here at St. Luke's Catholic Elementary School in Downeyville teaching fire safety lessons. We're just about to join the grade 2-3 class. Why don't you come on in with me? Thank you, everyone, and good morning. So we mentioned my name is Katie Duclos. I am the Fire Prevention Public Educator for Kawartha Lakes Fire Rescue Service. That just means that I am like a teacher, but instead of working for the school, I work for the fire department. And I teach really young kids, and I teach really old adults, and I teach everyone in between, because fire safety is important for everyone. So today we're going to talk about 3 different subjects. Instead of teaching math and science and writing, I teach about something called fire prevention, just like my title, fire prevention. I teach about fire detection, and then I teach about fire escape. And no matter how old you are, I usually teach those 3 subjects, but I teach them in different ways for different ages. So we'll get started here. So there's my 3 subjects. So prevention, that's stopping a fire before it starts. And I'm not trying to stop anyone from having a campfire at home or a nice fire in their fireplace. I'm talking about fires that burn our stuff, like our homes and different types of buildings. That's the type of fire I'm trying to stop. And I do that by giving you fire safety lessons so that you can be safe as well, and you can let your families know about the fire safety that you learned today. So if I'm not able to help prevent a fire, I want to know if a fire is happening. So detection, that's the next thing that I teach about. How do we know there is smoke or fire or carbon monoxide in our homes? Does anyone know what this round thing's called up there? Yeah.
Fire detector.
Yeah, we could call that a smoke alarm, a smoke detector. Exactly. So those special devices we have in our homes to sense smoke from a fire or sense something called carbon monoxide. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a few moments. And then once I know about the fire, I want to get the heck out of there, right? So I teach about escape. How do we get out of our homes and our buildings once I know that there's a fire or carbon monoxide? So we're going to talk about those 3 different subjects today. So our first lesson is actually about how you can help me to prevent fires. So in order to stop fires from happening, what you can do for me is you can leave matches and lighters. We leave those to the grown-ups to use. They are tools. They are not toys. So now that we are in grade 2 and 3, we may have the permission from a grown-up to use lighters and matches, maybe to light a candle or to light a campfire, but we only do that with a grown-up's permission. We're not going to play with lighters and matches. Even though fire's really interesting and neat, we don't want to start a fire ourselves. And fires have been started from people playing with lighters and matches. And if we see a lighter or matches somewhere where they're not supposed to be, either give them to a grown-up or put them up high somewhere where little brothers and sisters can't get them. Because we know the lesson. We know that they're tools for grown-ups, not toys for kids, but they don't know yet, okay? All right. So my friend here with the big nose, that's how I want you to think of a smoke alarm. Like it has a nose and it senses smoke just like you smell with your nose. So I brought some alarms with me here today. So they all have a little chamber inside them with a sensor in it. And these live up on our ceilings because smoke rises. So when smoke rises and gets into that chamber, that sensor recognizes that it's smoke and then it starts beeping to say, hey, could be a fire. Has anyone heard a smoke alarm sound before? Yeah, was it a real fire when it happened? No. Was it someone cooking? Yeah. Okay, so the reason that happens is because a smoke alarm doesn't have a little brain in its head. It can't see if there is smoke from a real fire or smoke from someone burning cookies. It just senses smoke and starts beeping. So if it's the daytime and we're in the kitchen and we notice it's getting a little bit smoky, and we know that mom or dad or maybe grandma and grandpa are cooking and the alarm goes off, we could say, hey, is it an emergency? Do we need to get out? Are people normally making cookies in the middle of the night? No. So if your smoke alarm goes off in the middle of the night, we are going to treat it like it's an emergency, and our number one job is just to get out right away. That's our only job. We're not going to grab our toys, we're not going to grab pets, we're not going to try to hide, we're just going to get out. That's the most important piece. Now there is another type of alarm in our homes called a carbon monoxide alarm. Now, carbon monoxide is a dangerous, poisonous type of gas that builds up in our homes when something's not working properly. That could be a furnace or hot water heater, and we can't see carbon monoxide, we can't smell it, we can't taste it. The only way we know is with a carbon monoxide alarm. So I have a couple of those here with me today. See those? So normally you would probably see those along the bottom of a wall somewhere. They don't have to be there, but that's usually where we find them. So those are extra important because we can't see it like we can see smoke. There's no smell, there's no odor. The only way we know that it's there is with a carbon monoxide alarm. So it works the same way. It has a little sensor inside, and when it senses carbon monoxide, it starts beeping. And remember, when you hear the beep, 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 what do we need to do? Get out now. That's our only job. Okay. All right. So remember, we talked about my 3 subjects, prevention. So how are we going to prevent fires? We're not going to play with lighters and matches. Detection, how are we going to know that there's a fire? So we learned about the smoke alarms, and then how are we going to know if there's carbon monoxide? We learned about the carbon monoxide alarms as well. Now, my last subject is escape. So no matter the type of building that you're in, so a house or an apartment building, when there is a fire happening, we need to know how to get out. So here we're looking at 2 different rooms, and the arrows are showing the ways out. So in the fire service, we say no 2 ways out. So you'll see the green arrows. Those are what? Yeah, and where are the red arrows pointing to? No. Windows. So those are the 2 ways we get in and out when there's an emergency. Do I normally climb in my window when I'm trying to get into my room? No, I would use the door, right? Yeah. So that's how our number 1 way of getting out an emergency is the door. But if the door is not available to us, then we'd have to use the window. And there might be more than 1 window. There might be more than 1 door. But having at least 2 ways out is really important. If we look at these 2 rooms in a home, and there's a fire happening between the living room and the bedroom, and I hear my smoke alarm go off, do you think I would use the door? Do you think it'd be smart to use the door? No. I might be in big trouble if I use the door, right? Yeah, so how would I get out in this room? Yeah.
The window?
The window, yep, exactly.
What if your window didn't open?
So that's actually a really good question. We should actually be testing to make sure that we can open our windows at home. I know sometimes, like especially after winter, they can sometimes get stuck. We should always just test to make sure we can open them. And if it's a real emergency where we, are having a tough time, you can smash a window. If it's an emergency and we need to get out, we're gonna smash a window. Yes. Get low and go. Can we say that all together? Yes. Get low and go. because smoke rises up to the ceiling, we can't stand up because that air, that smoky air is going to be right in your eyes. Who's ever got smoke in their eyes at a campfire? It doesn't feel good, does it? Stings, makes your eyes water. So can you imagine, it's going to be hard to see already. You're going to probably be a little bit stressed out because your smoke alarm's gone off, could be a fire happening. And then also, if you've ever breathed in smoke before, it makes you cough. So if you can't see and you can't breathe, if you're standing up trying to get out, it's going to be really, really hard. So the air closer to the ground is going to be much clearer, and we're actually going to crouch down to get as low as we can underneath that smoke, so we have a better chance to get out. And even firefighters, even though they have air with them, they still need to crouch down low in order to see in a fire as well. All right, crawl underneath that smoke to safety. Good job. Last one, our absolute loudest we possibly can. Get low and go! Good job. Excellent. We can give ourselves a round of applause. Everyone got out to safety. We crawled underneath that smoke layer and out to our safe meeting spot where our family is going to meet us, and that is where we would phone 911. What are we going to do? We're not going to play with lighters and matches. How are we going to know if there's a fire? What are those things called? Smoke alarm, and what's that other one? Carbon monoxide alarms. And then the last thing we learned was what? What's that called? Get low and go, which is part of escaping. Excellent job, everyone. And we already saw my firefighter friends. Yeah? Was that fun? They taught you a lot as well? Yeah. Excellent. So if emergency happens at your place or somewhere where you are, they are going to be the people responding to you. So you've already met some of them today.
Here, you tell me if you're all right. You okay there? We got a strong woman in our competition.
Jump into fire safety with me, Katie.